Happy Monday, guys. Welcome back. We're in our last month of school now. Just keep pushing on. You guys have done great work from home. We just got to keep it up for a little longer. I'm so sure you guys can do it. I'm so proud of the work you guys have already done and the work you guys will continue to do. So let's finish strong, finish together, and we'll have a great summer. Here we go. Chapter 4 of the Hot Air Balloon Mystery. The Runaway Balloon. Dun, dun, dun. We'll have to see what happens in this one. Look, Suli shouted, sitting in the back of Sky's van. She pointed out the window. It's a balloon, Benny exclaimed. To their right, a brightly colored balloon drifted above the trees. Who could that be, Matt wondered. Behind the wheel, Sky was not so calm. Whoever it is in big trouble, she said. No one's supposed to go up until we're there. It seems to be coming down, Violet observed. It just looks that way, Henry said. Matt thrust his head out the window. No, Violet's right. The balloon is coming down. It can't be, said Sky. It's over the woods. If it comes down there, it'll get tangled in the trees. Trying to keep the balloon in sight, they drove along the road, coming to a large open field filled with trucks and people preparing their balloons for flight. Sky turned in and stopped. She hopped out of the van and ran towards a small group of people, shouting, Who's up there? The Aldens and Matt raced after her. A large man broke from the group. If this is the way you're going to run things, you'll never be successful, he said. Who's up there? Sky persisted. Who knows, the man answered. Your whole operation is a disaster. He kept talking, but Sky wasn't listening. Here's a little picture of Matt and Sky, and then the Aldens in the back there seeing the balloon. She turned to the others gathered there. Did anyone see who launched the balloon, she asked. No one had. Don Pfister was the only one here when we arrived, a woman said. Don Pfister, the man who was complaining, snapped, Oh no, you're not going to blame me for this. That balloon was airborne when I got here. Calm down, Don, Sky said. No one's blaming you for anything. Another woman hurried over to the scene. Although the woman's graying hair was windblown and she wasn't wearing white gloves, Benny recognized her. He poked Jessie. That's the woman we saw leaving the inn, Benny whispered. What woman? Jessie asked. You know, Mary, the one who was arguing with Barbara? I was afraid of something like this, Mary was saying. Too many trees for ballooning. It's just not safe. You should rethink this, Miss Blair. There are plenty of places more suitable for your business. Business? Ha! Don Pfister said. It's a joke. That's what this is. They don't have a business. They have a plan for failure. Sky wasn't paying any attention. Come on, Matt, she said. We have to go after that balloon. She turned and headed toward the van. The Aldens hung back. Should they go along? Would they be in the way? Matt answered their unspoken question. Hurry, he said to them. The balloon's in trouble. We can't waste a minute. That Don Pfister sure was nasty, Benny commented as they drove away from the launch site. Matt waved his hand. Don't pay any attention to him, he said. He's full of hot air. Like the balloons, Suli said. Benny laughed. That's a good joke, Suli. Sky laughed too. And true, she said. Don owns a balloon business a few hours away. He thinks he's the only one who knows anything about ballooning. But I must admit, he's a crackerjack balloonist. Yeah, Matt agreed. He doesn't like us, but he never misses a rally. Don loves competition. They made several wrong turns before they found the balloon. It was suspended from an oak tree at the edge of a small clearing in the forest preserve. The basket looks empty, Jessie said as they climbed out of the van. Let's hope it is, Sky said. Matt climbed the tree. Looking down into the basket, he said, It's empty, all right. How's the balloon? Sky asked. Matt examined the brightly colored cloth. Looks pretty good. No big tears. Now if I can just... They all held their breath as Matt reached out to release the balloon. Got it! The basket fell at their feet with a thud. The deflated balloon floated down on top of it. This balloon is small, Benny observed. struggling to help fold it. Henry said, "It looks big to me." "Me too," Sue Lee put in. "Compared to ours, this balloon is small," Matt said. "Ours can carry a larger basket, which means more people can fit inside," Sky added. Everyone helped pack the balloon and basket into the van. On the way back to the port, Henry asked, "How did the balloon escape?" "Someone had to inflate it and let it go," Matt explained. "Maybe it was an accident," Violet suggested. "Right," Benny said. "Probably whoever blew it up didn't mean to let it go." "Possible," Sky said, "but not likely." "Wouldn't the owner of the balloon have said something?" Jesse asked. "I should think so," Sky said. "The owner would be very upset." Suddenly, Sue Lee said, "Maybe someone meant to let the balloon go." Matt nodded. "I think you're right, Sue Lee. This was no accident." Before the van had come to a complete stop, a man ran up, waving his arms and shouting. "I think I know who owns the runaway balloon," Matt said. "Brad Golder," Sky said. At the van window, Brad Golder, a thin, balding man, asked urgently, "Did you find it? Did you find my balloon?" Sky pointed her thumb toward the back of the van. "Relax, Brad. Everything's under control," she assured him. "Under control? Is that what you think? Someone steals my balloon and you say everything's under control?" Matt came around the side of the van and put his hand on Brad's shoulder. "What happened, Brad?" Matt asked. "Where were you when your balloon was launched?" Trying to calm himself, Brad took several deep breaths. Then he said, "I left my gear near my truck and went into town for breakfast. When I got back here, it was gone. Don told me my balloon was in the sky. I've been frantic." He began to pace. "If anything's happened to my balloon, you're responsible. If this is the kind of business you're going to run, maybe we don't need it around here." "It looks all right," Sky told him. "Why don't we get it out and take a look?" Sky opened the back of the van and they hoisted the balloon down. As they spread out the balloon, Don Pfister wandered over. "That balloon's a goner," he said. "This whole operation's over before it starts." "Listen, Pfister," Matt said. "You're wrong." "Let's take a look at this," Sky said, changing the subject as she began to examine the balloon spread out before them. They went over the nylon covering, inch by inch. Brad found a small tear. Easy to repair, he decided. He was obviously relieved that there was so little damage. Mary joined the group. Benny noticed her hair was still messy. "Is everything under control?" she asked. Henry spoke up. "Yes, ma'am," he said. "Mr. Golder's balloon wasn't badly damaged." "Ah, but it could have been. That is the point," she said. Without smiling, she thrust out her hand. "I'm Mary England. I don't believe we've met." "Pleased to meet you, I'm sure," she said. The Aldens didn't think she seemed at all pleased. At the other side of the field, a car pulled in. A man got out. "There's the press," Don Pfister commented. "Wait until they find out about this little misadventure." Alright, so a mystery of who launched the balloon, but this Don Pfister character doesn't seem to be on their side and being very nice. And then we've got Mary England, who's a little sketchy, so we'll have to make some predictions about who we think launched that balloon and why. And our next chapter for Tuesday, tomorrow, is More Trouble. So we'll see what kind of more trouble the Aldens get into.
Bye!
See you guys tomorrow. Work hard, behave for mom and dad, listening and lots of schoolwork. You guys can do it.